Greetings, programs, and welcome to World of Warplanes. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I played this. I just had a mad fit of curiosity to try it out because I haven't played this since the closed beta. It's been a while, and I've never put up a video about it because I've basically, I've barely played this game. Now, I do have a couple of premium planes in my hangar already. I think some of them might have been either gifts or this one definitely is to do with the fact that I'm a community contributor is why I have this P39. But otherwise, yeah, everything was like I had unlocked a couple of planes previously, but it's so long ago. Like it must have been while it was still in closed beta because I was back to square one basically. So I thought I would just jump in and give it a go. And I've played a couple of battles already this morning. I've played maybe 4 or 5 battles. And in fact more than that because I did all the training missions as well. Yeah, it's not really... I mean, you can see there's less than 2,000 people playing on EU at the moment. I can kind of see why it never really... I've just gone, I suppose, with the general opinion of people saying, well, it's not very good, and having played it for myself, I mean, it's not terrible, but considering the competition, it's no wonder that everybody that wants to fly goes and does things like War Thunder instead, because War Thunder just is, for flying, certainly, it's way more satisfying. And I think part of the problem is that they try to take the World Attacks formula and they just... They try to there goes my phone. I'm getting really bad at this, but then people don't usually message me when I'm actually recording. Usually, people don't usually message me. What was I saying? Yeah, they try to take the World Attacks formula and just transfer that wholesale into aircraft. And I hope they've learned their lesson for World of Warships, and it kind of seems like they have. Like they've tried to make World of Warships not just, well, we're going to take these mechanics and try and bodge it to a different vehicle type. They've actually gone away and thought about it more, it seems like, with World of Warships. But, yeah, that just leaves World of Warplanes, which limps along as the red-headed stepchild of the wargaming family, really. Apologies to any actual red-headed stepchildren out there. I don't know, there might be one or two. So, yeah, I mean... honestly, it doesn't feel like there's much point in playing this unless you've got a World of Tanks account, because one of the things is that although there aren't any, unlike War Thunder where you can fly planes alongside people playing tanks on the ground, your account is at least still unified between the different games. So I have all the gold I've got in World of Tanks, I've got all the free XP that I've got in World of Tanks, and because there's such a small player base, they're rather more generous with the kind of events and specials that you can get. So I think in theory you could have this installed alongside World of Tanks and jump into it occasionally to do things like grind free XP or do some of the missions that get you a little bit of gold and that kind of thing. You know, that's probably the only reason for a World of Tanks player to have this game installed. So all that said, I'm actually going to jump into battle. I mean, it's not a bad looking game. We'll see how the frame rate holds up while I'm recording. It was alright when I was playing, but obviously there's a bit less for the engine to cope with when it's just aircraft flying around, as opposed to, well, actually when you're on the ground and it's got a lot more to cope with rendering. But yeah, it just, even looks-wise, it can't compare to War Thunder. And I have to say, the sound design particularly is pretty poor. I mean, War Thunder particularly, I mean, it's got its problems, believe me, but one of the things that it does get consistently praised for is its sound design, how the vehicles sound, how the guns sound, and that's something that World of Warplanes just can't hope to match. But I doubt there are many developer resources going into this, particularly these days, because, like I said, it seems to be limping along just about, and it's obviously... there's maybe enough paying customers to justify it still being kept on life support, as it were. But I don't know. I don't know how long World of Warplanes is really gonna like how long they can afford to keep it going, really, because with I don't know how many people are playing on the EU servers, but it's in the tens of thousands for World of Tanks, and less than 2,000 people playing this. Yeah, it's not many, really. It isn't. So, I mean, even Wargaming themselves have admitted that World of Warplanes is a failure. I'm not being unduly harsh here. The company that made it have themselves said, well, no, this game has failed. So, I don't feel like I'm beating up on it unnecessarily. And I know there are probably one or two of you watching that actually do still play this. But the only reason I thought to come back to it was, well, for one thing, I knew I'd gotten a premium plane as a community contributor. Because I got a message about that over Christmas. I'm actually even recording 120 FPS, so yeah. But it's I don't know. I was watching a World of Tanks stream like very late last night, because I do occasionally stay up. Like, well, I say stay up. If I'm up that late, before I go to bed, I'll watch one or two of the NA streamers, because that's when they stream, obviously relative to my time. But I can't remember how. But World of Warplanes came up in the chat, and someone was saying, well, actually, you can go and like grind XP, free XP, and a little bit of gold. And it kind of makes sense that they'd be more generous, because of course World of Tanks was a lot more generous back in the day with the kind of things they were giving away. You know, a lot of people who have been playing for long enough, they have their T-34s for free, basically, because they would just give them to them. Because Wargaming were basically trying to entice people to play the game, trying to get people to, tell their friends about it. So, of course, you're going to be a bit more generous. But now they've got a big player base. I don't even know what I'm saying. They don't have to be anymore. Whereas World of Warplanes does not have that big player base at all. I mean, there are enough people playing that I'm not having to queue that long to get into battles, but there are smaller teams besides, so that's the thing. But there's just something about, I think it's the combination of, there's something about the formula, like hit points on planes especially, and also the fact that because it's just pure arcade, and War Thunder's got that going for it, it has those different levels, but just the pure, like, there's no option in terms of how you play this game. Am I being, there's someone on my tail, maybe? It's also hard to tell. Or am I getting flacked? Or is that friendly fire? I've forgotten what I was saying now, but it just, I don't know, there's more incentive for the World of Warplanes team to be generous with what they're giving to people, basically. Now, is this a tail gunner that's hitting me, or am I getting flacked from somewhere? It's a little hard to tell. But yeah, the planes also, I mean, there's the arcadey, that was what I was saying, the arcadey stuff. But also the planes just feel like flimsy, I'm going to say. Am I getting team killed here? No? Or was it just, was that an enemy guy that came up from below and I just didn't see him? It's also, this is the thing as well, it's really hard to tell. I think War Thunder does a much better job of letting you look around to see what's going on around you and just giving you that awareness. Although I possibly could increase my field of view. No, it was an enemy that got me. I just did not see him at all. What's my current field of view at? There was a way of changing it, and I don't know if I've changed it enough. Let's crank the field of view up to maximum and go into another battle. So, I mean, at the moment, the current World of Tanks weekend special is that it's times 3 XP for your first battle, and it is for this as well. But I've already earned, I think, considering the rank of battles that I've been in, obviously I can't show you because I closed the client in between those, but I'm getting more free XP than I was. Obviously, my premium account carries across to this as well, but I'm getting more free XP than I feel like I would be in low rank vehicles in World of Tanks, for instance. Feels like, it's not very objective, but yeah, and I'm also about 150 gold better off for doing all the tutorials, and you get gold for doing the tutorials on World of Tanks as well, but it's extra gold, you know. It's a little bit of extra gold, so that's alright. I could wait for that to come back. It locks your aircraft, and that's slightly, I don't know. But if you want to do the same one over and over again, it's slightly annoying, but it doesn't really matter. We'll actually try the P39Q, which obviously... oh, no, it came back, and we won. Or we'll just do that one again, or shall I have a quick look at the... oh, we might have a quick look at if I've got any upgrades I can unlock. Now, it's a little bit different. It's not at a glance. You've actually got to click through things, and let's see. It's also not immediately, like, it doesn't highlight for you if you've got stuff. So I know I've got enough XP on the plane, so I can research to that and buy that. Yes, there we go. Upgrades feel a little more expensive as well, but it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, this is like, you start off with, is it 10k credits? I think I played 1 or 2 battles in the premium planes. I've already got 35k, and that's after spending a bunch of stuff, buying a new plane, doing... did I do crew retraining? I might have... No, I didn't. Crew's the other thing. That's actually quite a bit different. You start off with 100% crew in your rank 1 vehicles, but the retraining is a bit... Like, if I look at the personnel file, I did free retraining from 100% to 80%. That's a lot of XP for... Yeah, I think there's more incentive, or they've made it so that there's more incentive to spend gold on retraining your crew. But that said, I don't know how big an impact crew actually have on the aircraft performance. It doesn't actually make that clear at all. Like, you can get some idea of it in World of Tanks if you're using mods. Of course, it doesn't tell you in the default client, but at least there are mods. But I don't know. I haven't actually even checked to see if there's a modding community for this game. There might be a small one. There might be enough people playing that there are a few mods around. But for aircraft, it honestly feels like there's probably less need for mods. Like, you might still have custom crosshairs and that kind of thing, but for all the mods that you get in World of Tanks, you probably don't need anything like the equivalent for this game. Also, it's a nice little feature that you can, like, compare your aircraft against the enemy aircraft that you'll be seeing, so you've got some idea of what you're going up against, basically. Now, there's a nice variety in this game. You've got kind of like different types of fighters and then ground attack aircraft, so there's no real straight up bombers, there's no torpedo bombers, there's no anything like that, so it has definitely less variety than War Thunder as well. So yeah, oh, this map's quite nice. I got this map a couple of times. It's basically the Winter War, the Finnish, one of the Finnish wars. I think it was, yeah, the first war was the Winter War, and then the continuation war was the Second War. But there's a bit of Aurora Borealis going on in the background, and it's actually, you know, having seen Aurora Borealis with my own eyes, that's actually not a bad attempt at representing it. So yeah, this is actually quite a nice map. Some of the maps are all right, although if you listen to like the artillery, the rockets and stuff landing, it sounds a bit naff, to be honest. So yeah, the planes kind of fly in a way that seems a bit flimsy, and the game sounds a bit weedy, and I think it's that kind of look and feel part that makes it seem inadequate in a lot of ways compared to War Thunder. Like, it doesn't really do anything that War Thunder doesn't do better. And I don't necessarily think that health bars are still a terrible idea for an arcade aircraft game, because it tells you, like War Thunder, you can shoot somebody a bunch of times and you have no idea if you're going to take them down or not. And you can try and do things like aim for engines. Oh, I only got assist on that, but never mind. But on this, you know, you can see exactly how much health an enemy has left. And there are still, it feels like, some of the same tactical considerations involved. Right, there's somebody nearby. There we go. Oh, a couple of people nearby, in fact. You know, not letting yourself get mobbed, not going too near enemy anti-aircraft, all that kind of thing is still important, as it would be. Ooh. Well, I can actually see his bomb sight. And also the reticle, trying to keep that on target sometimes is a bit... I don't know. There we go. Got a kill. Now, I'm down to about half health myself. Now, I've got someone on my tail as well, which is, like, unless you can outmaneuver them, and outmaneuvering people feels a bit harder, it often seems like you need the assistance of your allies to shake someone off your tail effectively. And getting that kind of teamwork going. Mind you, I mean, that can be an issue in Wolf Thunder as well. Oh, he's getting ripped. Oh, I might have to sneak the kill. Yeah, there we go. I think we're beating them. I've actually got 3 kills now. I think, actually, having said all I've said about War Thunder as well, and compared that to this, you know, when I was playing this in the beta, I had no idea what I was doing in a flying game. I did not do well with keyboard and mouse controls at that point, and that was true of War Thunder as well. But having gotten more comfortable with keyboard and mouse controls in War Thunder, I feel like that has helped me a lot in this as well. So there's 1 aircraft left. I'm probably not going to get there in time, but I've got 3 kills and an assist, which yeah, 3 kills and an assist, so that's not bad. I'm going to do decent XP out of this. But I definitely feel like playing War Thunder has helped a lot, but it also makes these planes just feel like they're made out of paper or something like that. So it's not terrible. And if you can stand playing aircraft to grind free XP, to get a little bit of gold out of the tutorial missions, yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to be playing it all the time, but if you play paying attention to special events, you can probably do fairly well out of it. I was actually top of that team. Oh, there we go. But it's hard to say that it's massive amounts of fun. It's just it's not particularly great in comparison to the competition, but in its own right, it's not awful. It's now I've installed it, I might play it every once in a while, even just to get a bit more free XP, because just even like the half dozen actual battles I've played, not counting all the training and the versus the bots stuff, I've probably gotten more free XP than I would have in the equivalent time playing World of Tanks. Like maybe 200 or 300 free XP for those low rank battles. So that's not terrible. And I will say, I also like one feature that World of Tanks doesn't have, is in that this game strongly encourages you to go through all the tutorials before you actually jump into battles. And that would be nice in World of Tanks as well, but there's only, like, the tutorials in World of Tanks are pretty basic, and the tutorials in this are pretty basic as well, but there's more of them, crucially. So, yeah, I mean, War Thunder does exactly the same thing. It incentivizes going through the tutorials, and that's always a good way of doing things. But, yeah, so I'll also have a quick look at the tech tree. It's got an okay spread of vehicles, I suppose. What do I need to get to the skewer? Like the low rank stuff, you level up through it fairly quickly. I mean, that's, what, maybe 1 or 2 more battles to get that rank 3 vehicle. So, yeah, there's a reasonable spread of vehicles, mostly German, Russian and American, but there's also a couple of Japanese, British, and even a couple of Chinese premiums. Maybe they were thinking they could get a couple of Chinese prems on the go for the Chinese market, but I've a feeling that, from what I've read, the only sort of semi-active player base for this is now on the EU server, and it's the only one that really makes them any money. So that's probably why it's still going. This is probably as many people as you'll see playing at any one time anywhere in this game. So yeah, so there you go, World of Warplanes. I just had a mad fit of curiosity and downloaded it overnight, installed it, and it's better than I remember it being, that's for sure, but in comparison to War Thunder Air Forces, it doesn't really compare that well. But if you're a World of Tanks player, there might well be, like I've said, a reason for you to install it and play it occasionally anyway. So there we go. I have no idea how many people will watch this video. It's certainly my first WoW's video that I've my first WoW video even that I've put up. But we'll see what the feedback is. I guess I'm interested to see how many people watch this, what people say underneath it. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap this up here then. So you can do the usual things. You can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.